All right, welcome to another session of Empower Talk, recorded live here in our LA headquarters, where we are transforming how sales professionals, entrepreneurs, and high achievers like yourself are constantly thinking, growing, and succeeding. So when you think about investing in yourself, what I'm not talking about is these men going and getting manicures and pedicures. I'm not talking about getting a new outfit or a new purse. I'm talking about really investing in improvement of yourself and your skills. So, does anybody know when I say the Oracle of Omaha, who I'm talking about?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, okay. Two people. Anybody else knew that? Yeah, everybody knew that. Okay. One of the world's wealthiest men, but also one of the world's humblest at that point. He still drives an American-made car, lives in an $800,000 house, still lives and operates out of Omaha, Nebraska. We know Omaha, and forgive me for this on video, but it's not the business epicenter of the world. And one of the things that he did, yes, his father had a bit of wealth, was in the stock market as well, so he learned at a really early age, but by age 20, he was wheeling and dealing already. Back at that time, they didn't have television to where, you could take a course. They didn't have YouTube, they didn't have Instagram, they didn't have any of those. What people used to do was mail order services, buy books actually, or courses through correspondence and all of these things. Well, Dale Carnegie was a speaker, a motivator, a trainer at the time. And he wasn't part of the Carnegies, but a lot of people think so. But he was doing one of these courses on public speaking. And at the time, I think Warren Buffett has got to be in his late 80s, early 90s. When he was 20 years old, so you're talking about 70 years ago, he paid $100 for a public speaking course. Because unbeknownst to a lot of people, at the young 20-year-old Warren Buffett, every time he had to speak to even a small group of people, even within his family or at school, he would get so nauseated that he would actually throw up. That's how nervous he would get when speaking in front of people. How many people in here are a little afraid of public speaking? It's a common trait to speak to a whole bunch of people. And so he was nervous. And think about this young man and what an important skill it is to be able, at his level and who he is, to speak to the masses. If he's getting nervous just speaking to a few people, that's a problem. And he recognized that problem and invested $100. 70 years ago, $100 was worth some money. Probably 10 times or 15 times the amount that we have right now. Because for a dime, you could probably buy a loaf of bread. Now those days are gone. Gas was probably 5 cents, something like that. And so he spent $100 to go get this course. And that gave him the art of being able to have the confidence. We talked about confidence today in practice. To be able to persuade people, to be able to lead people. Is speaking important for a leader? Entire political campaigns have been won by the power of speech. When we look at some of the greatest speakers in history, some of them used it for evil, but they moved millions of people. Whether they were creating love, hate, or hope. The power of the spoken word is something to be harnessed. And so in his office, even today, he doesn't hang the diploma from Columbia University. He hangs the diploma from the Dale Carnegie course on public speaking, because he attributes that to running Berkshire Hathaway. What's Berkshire Hathaway's? How much is one share?
$100,000.
$100,000 or more. Up there with Bitcoin. One share of this company, because he has a stellar track record. Part of that track record also comes from The Intelligent Investor, a book written by one of his teachers. But he was constantly learning about how to pitch, invest, build, trust. And now when he speaks, millions of people hang on every word. There's entire YouTube channels and social media channels dedicated to when he has his annual meetings and what he says. What he says has the power to affect the stock market almost instantly. Think about that. From someone who was afraid to talk to a group of people. Let's fast forward it into right now. There's a young man, in my opinion, but he is an old man when it comes to his tenure in the sport of basketball. He might as well be a senior citizen. He's playing in his 40s right now. He has the privilege to share the same court as his child. That's rare for you to be playing on the same team, same court, same sport as someone that your progeny. And in sports, 40 years old is old. And in that sport in particular, we're not talking about rowing, you got to be up on your game. So LeBron, if you don't know by now, spends on improvement. While other people are chasing fast things like cars and women, he continues to invest in his body and in his recovery and in his sleep and in his nutrition. He doesn't have just one trainer, he's got multiple trainers. He spends about $1.5 million a year. Now you could say, well, he could spend that much. But how many people were making just as much as him but didn't spend on themselves for improvement? He has everything down to a science. You could say that he's a super athlete, but he's an investment strategist for every dime that he spends on himself. That includes mind, body, that includes trainers, that includes sleeping chambers and nutrition and vitamins and the best kind of food that his body can intake. That's why he's still playing. At 6'8" or 6'9", built like a brick house. Many people, many critics expected him to only play for a short period of time. Why not? They weren't wrong. Everybody else that was his size only plays for a limited amount of time before their hips or the knees or something else breaks. Now there's a lot of debate on Kobe or James being the best. But if you look at Kobe, he did things the same way. He spent a lot of money on himself to be at that elite level. Well, a lot of people take the same money and spend it on other things. They constantly spent on improvement. So the single biggest, I would say, value that they have is not in their endorsement or in their jump shot. It's money spent on improving themselves constantly. And you have to measure what matters. And how often do you measure what matters in this sport that we're in? Daily. You don't have the luxury of calling in sick. You're an entrepreneur. I barely got sleep, but I'm here. I got to do it. I can't call in to fill in, to shoe in. I can't call in a substitute. I got to show up for my business. And that's important to remember because at the highest levels, you have to measure what matters and you have to constantly improve and spend on yourself. Now, I'm not advocating you go out there and get shiny new objects, but do the things that are absolutely free. And so at the collective of companies, we bet on growth by investing in ourselves. And at Pacific Playa, how do we invest in ourselves? We train every single day. And I have stood here for the last 15 years and had people come and go. But the program goes on. I had an interesting conversation with Michael. People come and people go, but we remain constant. Why do we invest on training? Because training and doing it every single day is hard for the multi-billion-dollar companies to scale. Putting a manager, an owner, a CEO, a chairman, whatever the title, every day in front of you to try to train you, it's hard to scale. There's companies right now that have billions of dollars that acquired other companies, but they can't put a consistent manager out there every single day to do the training part. We build it into our system so that we can improve. That's how this little teeny tiny company is still remaining number one in our market share in those areas, even though, are we going up against billions of dollars of advertising money? Yep, but you can't scale hard work. We just reinvested in our own communities. We continue to show up every single day. At New Era, we continue to invest in programs and systems that are going to make sure that we're compliant. Well, there are a lot of escrow companies that will pay for your party, or pay for your marketing, or quietly pay for your trips. But we don't want to wear an orange jumpsuit because it's against the law. We rather invest in our escrow officers so they can be experts so you can close that file that other people can't. At Inclusive, we reinvest. Our mortgage loan originators might go out there and get certifications so that we can help the community. We might come up with...
Ernie.
I'm gonna do an about face. I still remember to do that. But at Inclusive, we're constantly looking for new programs. We keep adding new tools, investing in ourselves so that we can be an aid and a resource. Now you, as a realtor, a realtist, a real estate agent, need to continually invest your time, which is the most precious of all, into refining your skills and doing the generation of leads and prospecting that you possibly can. Don't listen to people who say it doesn't work, because the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding's right here. We've been consistent over time. Yes, we get people that say it doesn't work. Yes, we're gonna get people who say, you know what, I'm trying something new. Yes, we're gonna get people who are going to doubt you. But as long as you continue to invest in yourself on a regular basis, you're gonna get results. It might not happen right away because sometimes when you're looking at things, you can't see the obvious. When the young man took that course on public speaking, he didn't see the obvious right away, did he? It came up later as he got successful, and that's where he was able to tie in his public speaking. So, I ask you, are you ready?
Yes.
Some of y'all sleepy still.
Wake up.
Should I try that again?
Yeah.
What you think? Are you ready?
Yes.
I like that. Are you prepared?
Yes.
That's a little late. Okay, try to time it, okay? All right. I thought there was an echo. But honestly, before you go out and buy a product, before you spend your hard-earned money, before you start chasing material goods, invest in yourself so that your skills can come up. You feel like you're limited in one area or you don't have enough skills? Go out there and find the information. It's not only monetary spending I'm talking about, but put some time and effort in. You can't write well, it makes you nervous. Go out and study that. Don't perfect it, just become proficient enough so you can have the confidence in yourself. You feel like you have, problems communicating with people. Talk more. Invest the time in doing that. You feel like you don't know how to save money. Go and look at a course. There's so much access to free information now, but nobody's gonna make you do it until you make yourself do it. So I ask you, are you unlimited?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
was on time.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys so much.